So 2020, everyone's talking about it. So how did 2020 affect work, family, home life? It's a totally different year.
2020 was a shock to everyone, from personal plans to professional plans. For us, we planned to get married and have a family wedding in 2020, and that had to change. And so it was a really small, intimate thing with our best friends, and we're planning a big party later. I think as a parent, it was also a shock because our children needed to go into remote learning. And so juggling the fact that you have your kids at home, your spouse at home, everybody's remote, your internet, you're having to quickly figure out how much internet boosting you need because of too many people being on the internet. For us, because we live between two homes, our children were stir crazy for their friends and preferred that they went to school, even though it's remote, out of Chicago, because they could still be in their pods with their friend. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that as a mother and as a professional, we would be talking about keeping people in their pods. So you have your personal pod and the people that you hang out with, but then you also have your professional pod. I think for us, at Fanatics, we had 3 priorities. Number 1 was keeping our employees safe. Number 2 was keeping our employees employed. And number 3 was keeping the business running. And so when it came to keeping our employees safe, our organization, from human resources to our safety committee team, they did all of the right things to put really strong safety measures in place. They researched all different types of technologies to make sure that we did everything from having a nurse on site to having technology that took your temperature. Social distancing was absolutely critical. Making sure that people understood that if they feel any sort of illness, do not come to work. Communicate with us and let us help you and point you in the right direction of resources so that you can make sure that you're healthy so that everybody else stays healthy. I think the other thing is that we had to learn about taking care of our customers differently. So many companies had to do layoffs and things like that. And from a customer experience perspective, there were companies that had long wait times to get to a customer service representative. At Fanatics, we call our customer service representatives athletes, and we call our supervisors coaches. Because we were proactive in our strategy to put everything in place for social distancing, divide our contact centers between 2 buildings, leverage our BPOs and our work from home network aggressively. We didn't have any of the problems of long wait times. We were there for our customers, and we're really proud of that.
What has helped when remembering the listen to understand with an open mind?
And you're referring to 2020, and there's all of the macro changes that are happening with our society, divisiveness, and then the fact that at the same time you have to go in and be a leader and be there for your people when they're experiencing the ups and downs. I would say, number one of the things that is missing in our country is the fact that our diverse backgrounds make America what it is, and understanding and listening to those backgrounds and appreciating the diversity of someone who grew up in the South and is really proud of all of the traditions that are from the South, versus someone who is a first-generation immigrant like myself and some of what I've just shared with you, versus somebody that's in the Midwest and has a completely different experience. Minnesota, you're in the snow, you're dealing with the cold. All of us have such rich backgrounds and history, and listening to understand and really being open-minded to believe in the goodness of people, and that people have positive intentions, and that goodness is part of the tapestry that makes up this country, is super important. And so I believe that regardless of your skin color, your religion, your sexual orientation, where you are from in the world that brought you to the United States, that if we all just listen to each other's stories and appreciate each other's perspectives, it doesn't mean that you have to agree, but it means that we're teaching our children how to do the right thing in the world that we leave for them.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So how have you worked to build a good relationship with you and your peers?
I have some really fun peers. So one of the things that I've discovered with some of my peers is that we're strong in our faith together. And I really believe that our faith has tied us together in ways that I didn't think about before. I think the other thing is that they challenge me, and as the only woman with a peer group of men, they really challenge in a way that makes you stretch and think about the business more broadly. I think that we talk about our children together and the ups and downs and ins and outs of those of us that have adult children, those of us that have teenage children. And then sports. Are you kidding? Fanatics is all about sports, and what a better way to build relationships with people across the organization, let alone my peers, when it comes to sports.
Mm-hmm. What are your favorite sports teams or favorite things to watch?
There's an interesting story there. So we're a sports family, and our children, so we're a blended family. So I have 3 daughters. My husband has a daughter and a son. So my 3 daughters and my ex-husband were avid watchers of NFL. And our oldest daughter, Peyton, she's named after Walter Payton, and her family nickname is Sweetness. We also are basketball fans. So our middle daughter, her name is Avery. She's named after Avery Johnson, who is a basketball player, and now he's a coach for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Okay. And then our youngest daughter, Kyle. Kyle is named after a football player that my husband was mentoring that ended up going to the University of Colorado, my alma mater. Okay. And he went through a rough time and ended up passing, and Kyle is named after him.
Wow. Okay. So sports
is like, it's a thing.
Okay. And what's the sport in Kenya that everyone follows?
We call it football in Kenya, but it's in the United States, it's called soccer, right? So that is the big sport. And then Kenya is known for our marathon runners. Now, as you can see, I'm not from that tribe. My mother's tribe, we're a dancing tribe, not so much the running tribe.
Okay.
Yeah.